Shalom, Akim. Back again, prophesizing the return of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and the Son, Yahweh Shai. You all ignorantly call him Jesus, but his true and Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. This is a response video to Indians are the lost tribes of Israel. Of course they are, because they are a lot of people that don't even consider the fact, have no idea that the northern kingdom is Israel. For the most part, nobody knows about the northern kingdom captivity. They know about the southern kingdom captivity, the transatlantic slave trade, but they have no idea about the northern kingdom captivity, okay? Before we get started, we're going to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash Barakatah. Double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone. Honors to the hopeful elect. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical and true Hebrews of the Bible. Salutation to all the Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity, the speckled bird, and all those whose lineage goes back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Barakatah. Now, like I say, they have no idea about the northern kingdom captivity, but they do know about the southern kingdom captivity. That's when King Nebuchadnezzar marched on Jerusalem and besieged it. And a lot of the, Israelites, they escaped into West Africa, okay? In fact, West Africa was known as Niggerland back then. And that's, which the slave coast, you know what I'm saying, which is the slave coast also, where the slave ships docked, and they docked along the coastal West African coast, okay, the coastal West Africa. And they docked mainly along the Bight of Benin. That's located pretty much between the Volta River and the Lagos Lagoon. But the northern kingdom went into captivity before that. Let me give you a couple of precepts on that. 2 Kings 17 and 19. 2 Kings 17 and 19. 2 Kings 17 and 19. I started 18. 18 might be a better point. It says, therefore, the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. So that's letting you know that all the tribes are gone. Judah is the only tribe left, and Judah is in the southern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And it's in Jerusalem, okay? It's the capital, it's the capital of the southern kingdom. I'll give you one more to piggyback on that. We're going 2 Kings, and we're going to go to 23 and 26. 2 Kings 23 and 26. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from his fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because all the provocation that Manasseh had provoked him withal. Okay, so right there, he's letting you know that he's tired of Judah too. But the northern kingdom, see, okay, when people talk about slavery, they only remember the transatlantic slave trade. That's what this lesson is about, the lost tribes of Israel, the northern kingdom captivity. That tends to get overlooked, little mention made about it. Let's read a little bit, okay? We're gonna stay in 2 Kings, but we're gonna go back to 17, okay? 2 Kings 17 and start at the top. And it reads, in the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Now, Samaria is the capital of the northern kingdom, okay? And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as kings, not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Beautiful precept. Proverbs 29:12. I ain't gonna pull it up, I'll just cite it. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Okay, and that's how you know what I'm saying. The northern kingdom had become. They kept not the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. That's why they're going into captivity. So the northern kingdom went into captivity first. Okay, let's keep reading. Against him came up Salmanasar, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant, okay? And he gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to King So, king of Egypt, and brought no presents to the king of Assyria as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison, okay? Now, 2 Kings 17:5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. Okay, so he took Samaria, which is the capital of the northern kingdom. It was a 3-year war. It took them 3 years to do it, but they did it, okay? And I have a beautiful precept for that too. We're going to go Hosea 13 and 16. Hosea 13 and 16, okay? Samaria shall become desolate, for she have rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women will be ripped up. Okay? So, that's what happens when you disobey your power, when you disobey Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Okay, let's keep on reading. 2 Kings 17 and 6, okay? 2 Kings 17 and 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes, okay? So he took Israel away from their homeland, their motherland, the land of milk and honey that the Lord gave us. 2 Kings 17 and 7. For so it was that the children of Israel, okay, for so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. So see, for so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. That's our first captivity. He delivered us out of that and gave us the land of milk and honey, and they're still being disobedient, okay? So we're gonna hold on to that verse 7, that 2 Kings 17 and 7. We're gonna hold on to that for a minute, okay? That's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Now, what we're about to do, okay? Let's find out, okay, about these tribes, who they are, okay? Who are these lost tribes? The Mayan Empire, Mesoamerica, or Central America. I'll comment on that later. I'll comment on that in 1 minute. The Mayan Empire, our civilization, flourished, okay, 3,000 years. The empire stretched from the Mexican Yucatan Peninsula to Guatemala, Belize, Western Honduras, all the way to El Salvador. The Mayans were master builders of the pyramids. Of the pyramids, roads, housing. They cultivated like crops like maize, corn, squash, beans, cocoa, an agricultural lifestyle and civilization well ahead of its time. Okay, now they were invaded by the Spanish conquistador and conquered between 1517 and 1519. The Mayans were also known for their elaborate artwork and had a most sophisticated and complex system of hieroglyphics, which has baffled and mystified scholars for years. Okay, right now to this very day. That land base, well, I'm going to comment on that now. Mesoamerican or Central American, there's no such land base, no such thing. What defines land base is continents. Let's define continent, okay? Now, because I'm doing this lesson and I'm on airplane mode, my phone won't allow me to get to my Strongs as I tell you all the time. So I usually look up the definitions prior to doing the lesson. Define continent, any of the world's main continuous expansions of land. And they list them, okay? Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America, okay? What defines land-based continents? Says nothing about Mesoamerica or Central America. The elder Malcolm did a beautiful lesson on that and how they rename or call themselves calling part of Africa the Middle East, okay? That's when they were dealing with the East Indian Trading Company, you know what I'm saying? Trading company, they were trading with them. And the Roman general, Publius Cornelius Serpico Africanus, after defeating Hannibal Barca, renamed Africa after himself, okay? That's what he did. Let me give you a precept. Psalms. Give me that Psalms real quick. Psalms. We're going to go in Psalms 49. Psalms 49 and 11. Psalms 4. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their land after their own names. See, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. See, this Edomite is so proud, so arrogant, he thinks he's going to rule this earth forever, okay? All right, it says their dwelling places to all generations. That means he's going to rule and pass it down to his son. His son is going to rule and pass it down to his son, so on and so on, okay? And they call their lands after their own names. Like I just told you, the African, General Scipiano Africanus, that's what he named Africa after himself. And that's what they do. That's this Edomite, okay? Esau think he gonna rule forever. But let's get back to this lesson. Now let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, these lost tribes, okay? We just talked about the Mayans. Here go the Aztecs. And they too had a vast empire civilization, a fierce nation. They ruled all of ancient Mexico before America stole part of it, okay? Now you would have to get a map and look at North America and South America and see how big that area that the Aztecs ruled really is, because before America stole it, they had, across the Rio Grande, they had Texas, they had, California, they had Utah, Nevada, they had Colorado, they had Arizona, they had New Mexico. All that was stolen. So you can imagine how big ancient Mexico was that the Aztecs ruled, okay? And they ruled from the 1300s to 1500s. The most widely known ruler, was Montezuma, and I got a story about that. If you listen to the Marines when they be marching, they be from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. So, see, they letting you know Montezuma was Hebrew, and The Aztecs were conquered by Hernan Cortez soon after the colonization of Cuba. In 1519, Cortez led armies into Mexico from 1519 to 1547 when he conquered Mexico from the Aztecs, okay? Spanish conquistadors conquered Mexico, all right? Now, the Aztecs, they were master builders of pyramids also, roads, housing, the Aztec agriculture, maize, beans, squash, and they farmed a host of other vegetables like tomatoes, avocados, chili peppers, limes, onions, armith, peanuts, sweet potatoes, jamaicas, etc. Known for their elaborate artwork also, and they had a sophisticated and complex system of hieroglyphics also. Now remember that 2 Kings 17 and 7. We're going to go back to that later in the lesson, okay? Now that the land base of the Aztecs is Mexico, okay? That's where they ruled. That would make them the tribe of Issachar, okay? That would make them the tribe of Issachar. Okay, according to the land base of the Mayans, that would make them the tribe of Zuberlin. Zuberlin, okay? Now, let's talk about the Inca civilization, okay? Also spelled with a K, I-N-C-A or I-N-K-A, and it flourished, okay, between the late 1300s and 1500s. South American Indians, all the lost tribes, the Indians are the lost tribes of the Bible. All these are Indian tribes, okay? Okay. The American Indians who had such a vast, the South American Indians who had such a vast empire, it stretched from Quito in the north, which is Ecuador, down to Peru, the Inca stronghold, all the way down to Santiago, which is Chile. 2,500 square miles, okay? They were master architects of cities, okay? And the Aztecs, I forgot to mention that too. The Aztecs, they were known for building the first cities in the Western Hemisphere, okay? All right. Now, the Incas, they were master architects of cities, roads, buildings. Yes, you got it, the pyramids too. They were master builders of the pyramids too. They grew maize, quinoa, potatoes, corn, etc. Okay, and they had a sophisticated and complex hieroglyphics and elaborate artwork as well. The Spanish conquistador Pizarro and his men were greatly aided invading the Inca Empire, okay, from 1532, Salakia, to 1772, resulting in a Spanish victory, okay. According to the land base, this is the tribe of Neftali, okay, Neftali. Okay, so the Aztecs are Issachar, okay. The Mayan, okay, the Mayans are Zebulun, okay. The Mayans are Zebulun, okay. And you have the Incas, okay. Now the Incas of Neftali. The Incas are Neftali. And on the map, if you go further up from Quito, which is, Ecuador, you see Colombia, right? You keep going up from Quito, which is in Ecuador, you see Colombia. Now that land base is Asher, the tribe of Asher. Now we all know that this place here, America, the Native Americans in this land, that's the tribe of Gad, okay? And if you go to the southeast part of America, like Georgia, Florida, in them Everglades, that's the tribe of Reuben, the Seminole Indians. Gad are the Native American Indians. Okay, all right. You see what I'm saying? Incas are the South. Incas says South American Indians. Okay, these are the lost. The Indians are the lost tribes of Israel. Okay, that's what the lesson is about. Uh, that's the and you know if you go southeast of America, like in this country here, America, that southeastern Georgia, Florida, the Everglades, those are the tribe of Reuben, which are the Seminole Indians. Okay, the tribe of Gad never unified under one leader. Instead, had many tribes ruled by their own chief and shared a common culture. Okay, they shared a common culture. And now let's show you how these tribes got here. Okay, let's show you how the tribes got here. All right, and let's prove they are the lost tribes of Israel, which we've been doing pretty good job so far in the lesson. Okay, I'm going to read out of my apocrypha right now. Okay, and I'm going to go to Second Esdras, and I'm going to go to Second Esdras, and I'm going to go to 13, okay, and 40, okay. Now, all these tribes that I just named before I get to this Second Esdras, okay, if you go to Genesis, all right, and you go to Genesis chapter 49, okay, for time's sake, we won't get into it, but, well, do we got time? I don't know. For time's sake, we won't get into it and make the lesson too long. But if you go to Genesis chapter 49, that's Jacob calling to his sons to gather together that I may tell you what will befall of you in the latter days. So he's going to tell all his sons what's going to befall them in the latter days, okay? And Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. So I'll get that one for you. Jacob's name being changed to Israel, is that 32 in Genesis? Genesis 32. Genesis 32 and 22. Let me see. Yeah, it's Genesis 32 and 22, but the point is 28. I'll get right to the point for time's sake. And he said, thy name shall be no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. And this is the angel that he wrestled with, who gave him his blessing. Okay, Genesis 32 and 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and has prevailed. Okay, so that right there, Jacob, and Genesis 49, he's gathering up his sons. Okay, he's gathering them together so he can tell them what's going to befall them in the latter days. Okay, now we're going to tell you how all these tribes got over here. Okay, and prove they are okay. Also, I think we've been doing a pretty good job of that so far. The lost tribes of Israel. Now, don't forget about that 2 Kings 17 and 7. We're going to get back to that, but let's read a little bit more. Okay, 2 Esdras 13, and I'm going to start right at 40. It reads, those are the 10 tribes, okay, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Uzziah, the king whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and some came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never man can dwell. Second Ezra, 13 and 42, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. That's how long they traveled, okay? And the same region is called Arshareth, okay? Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall say, the spring of the stream again, and they may go through their saw there the multitude with peace. Okay, so they were taken captive. Okay, right at the top it tells you right there, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Uzziah the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive and carried them over the waters. And some came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go further into the country where never man can dwell, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Okay, so you see, they were carried away, prisoner. They were taken out of Israel. This is the northern kingdom, and they were taken out of Israel, Yeah, they were taken out of Israel, man. And when they got into another land, they didn't want to stay with the multitude of the heathen, so they went further. And this is how they got over here, Now, like I said, if you look at Quito, which is Ecuador, and go a little further up the map, you see Colombia, and that's the tribe of Asher, Now, we all know this place here, America, you know what I'm saying? The Native Americans, this land base here is the tribe of Gad, And if you go to that southeast part of America, the southeast part, like Georgia, Florida, the Everglades, that's the tribe of Reuben, the Seminole Indians, And it already told you about the Incas, South American Indians, All right, now tribe of Gad, they never unified under one leader. Instead, had many tribes ruled by their own chief and shared a common culture. And if you see they shared a common culture, it tells you right here, it say, but they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into the further country where never man can dwell, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. So they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Now let's show you. Let's show you how these tribes got here. We just showed you that. Let's prove that they are the lost tribes of Israel and close the lesson. What am I looking for? We're gonna go back to that 2 Kings now. Now we're gonna go back to that 2 Kings. We're going to go back in that 2 Kings, and we're going to go to 7, 2 Kings 17, Salakia, 2 Kings 17 and 7. It says, for so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, we were in captivity in Egypt, right? Yes, we were in captivity in Egypt. And when we were in captivity, what did we? We were master builders of the pyramids. We built all of their pyramids, okay? All of this sophisticated, okay? All of this sophisticated and complex system of hieroglyphics, okay? That's us too. And if you see those pictures in Egypt, you see us working, and you see afros and beards. Okay, we were in captivity in Egypt. You see braids and beards, and that's what the Israelites rock. We rock afros and beards. We rock braids and beards. We just have a short haircut, okay? We round off nothing, okay? But that right there tells you, if you go to the Incas, the Aztecs, or the Mayans, and you click on, the first thing you're going to see is what? Pyramids, man. Now, we building pyramids, okay, in our captivity in Egypt, okay, and they building captivities over here. They building pyramids over here in the new land where they went. They Hebrew too, man. These are the lost tribes, okay? These are the lost tribes of Israel right here. Has it? They building pyramids like we built in the land of Egypt. They Hebrew too, okay? And if you look at their sophisticated and complex, okay, hieroglyphics, when you go to hieroglyphics, the first thing that comes up is Egyptian hieroglyphics, okay? And it says they have baffled and mystified scholars for years, right now today, like these hieroglyphics that we're talking about from the Aztecs, okay, which are the tribe of Issachar, okay? The Aztecs are the tribe of Issachar, okay? And they had that. Now, okay, also the Mayans, okay? The Mayans are the tribe of Zebulun. Okay, the Incas of Naphtali, okay? Your Native Americans right here in America, okay, that is the tribe of Gad. And when you go south, okay, southeast, along Georgia, Florida, them Everglades, those the tribe of Reuben, the Seminole Indians, okay? And it says clearly the Incas, South American Indians, okay? So, Lord will, this lesson was edifying, okay? In closing, I'd like to say Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadas, Barakatha, Abab Bo, Shalom.